Hi, you guys. Oh my God, am I groggy? I moved again. I was in Marbella and Puerto for 2 days, and I went to that beach club in front of Nobu and partied till like 4 in the morning. And I got this really cool dress, like drunk, and overpaid for it. Oh, such is life. But anyway, I'm going to be doing Ricky Martin today. This was a request. Some people really wondered what the hell was going on with this restraining order and, the fact that it was filed as domestic abuse, meaning there was a partner, or a lot of people think, a partner of Ricky Martin's living in his mansion in Puerto Rico, which of course is very scandalous considering that he's married with children, and he has multiple houses. He's got a lot of real estate. So in order to get behind what is going on with this restraining order, we have to first look at something that was written in El Vocero newspaper, which was that there was supposedly a relationship that Ricky Martin had with an individual in Puerto Rico that lasted for 7 months, and they broke up 2 months ago, meaning that Ricky Martin is having obviously affairs on his husband, essentially, if that is true. What's alleged is that this gentleman that Ricky Martin was seeing ended the relationship, and Ricky Martin didn't take it well, and he started calling him incessantly and showing up at his house incessantly to, I guess, try to get him back, or maybe to, I don't know, show his anger, whatever, but it made him afraid for his life, which is why he did the restraining order. But one weird thing is that he didn't do a police report. And usually you'd call the police and you'd do a police report. And in this particular case, he went straight to court to make a filing that would stop Ricky Martin. So I guess you could read that 2 ways. One is he didn't really want a real investigation. And so, because he didn't think he'd get the restraining order if he had a proper investigation. The other is that he was that worried that he was like, forget all the rigmarole, I just want to get my restraining order. So Ricky Martin's been married to Juan Joseph since 2017, and they have 4 children. Here he is. So I wonder how he's handling this. I mean, this makes you wonder, did they have an open marriage, or was it understood that they were going to have separate lives in separate locations? I don't know. I'd say things at home aren't great for Ricky Martin at the moment, if there's any truth to this. Now, Ricky Martin has denied these allegations, saying that they are not true, but there's another lawsuit that a woman by the name of Rebekah Drucker, who was his manager for 3 years, filed against him that seemed to imply that Ricky Martin is not doing very well mentally, like that there might be some things at play. So let me read you some of that complaint. I downloaded it, and I will put it in the Patreon if you guys want to read it for yourself. So the big paragraph that has the bomb in it in this Rebekah Drucker complaint is, and by the way, their hearing, Rebekah Drucker versus Ricky Martin's hearing, is going to be in October of 2022, unless they settle ahead of time. He's been difficult to serve, I guess, has been part of the problem, but that's pretty typical of any lawsuit. Anyway, it says number 3, Rebekah has also fiercely protected Martin when Martin was threatened with a potentially career-ending allegation in September 2020. Rebekah advised him and brought in top litigation counsel to handle the matter. Martin emerged unscathed and proceeded with his professional resurgence, now set to play a lead role in the highly anticipated Apple TV series Mr. and Mrs. American Pie. Martin is once again primed to reach the heights of fame and fortune. So the big question here is, what is this threat in 2020 that was so dark that it could have destroyed his entire career? That's really the question. She gives us some clues in this complaint as to what that whopper is. And I noticed the media outlets didn't really report on it, so I don't know why that was, but I'm going to report on it here. Yay! Okay, here's another juicy part of the complaint. It says, There is just one problem. Martin completely and maliciously refused to pay Rebekah the millions of dollars in commissions that he owes her under their management agreement. By his flagrant breach of contract, Martin betrayed Rebekah and took for granted her loyalty, dedication, and an exceptional service to him. What is worse, as Martin fostered a toxic work environment wherein he constantly mistreated, manipulated, and lied to Rebekah, forcing her to resign as his manager in April 2022. Martin has now threatened Rebekah and is attempting to force her to sign an agreement with a non-disclosure clause to silence Rebekah about the abhorrent behavior by Martin that she has both witnessed and endured. But it gets better. It says, Rebekah will not be silenced. She will not be silenced, everyone. Thank you, Rebekah. Don't be silenced. We want to know the juice. For years, she protected Martin from the consequences of his reckless indiscretions. Rebekah did so only because she was his manager, but also because she thought that Martin was her dear friend. No longer. By this complaint, Rebekah seeks compensation for the money she's owed as Martin's manager and for the harm, get this, she has suffered as a result of the wrongful conduct of Martin and other defendants. So what do we get in that one? The key two words in that paragraph were reckless indiscretions. Reckless indiscretions. So what is his reckless indiscretions? That's what we want to know. Like, is it, sometimes people will call cheating an indiscretion, okay? It's not really the legal definition, though. The legal definition is behavior or speech that is indiscreet or displays a lack of good judgment, imprudence, carelessness, rashness, haste, recklessness. I guess what we're really looking for is what are examples of these indiscretions, right? Now, I had an ex-partner from a long time ago who, before Ricky Martin came out of the closet, was dating him in Miami. And I heard he was a lot of fun. That's all I'm going to say from my ex-partner. I heard he was a lot of fun. Not as much fun as me, though, just saying. So Ricky Martin has a lot of houses. He's got a house in Beverly Hills. He's got one in Miami. He's got Puerto Rico. And he's got houses probably in other places as well. Those are like the normal, you can easily find those ones. What I thought was weird, though, is that there's a lot of coverage of his homes everywhere but Puerto Rico. In fact, I could find only really one picture of his house in Puerto Rico, and I could only find stuff from his social media that you can see little bits of his house in the background. Even Hello Magazine tried to do this article about his Puerto Rico house, and they tried to call out what was behind his head, that the house was stylish because you could tell from two things behind his head, which tells me they were desperate to talk about the Puerto Rico house, but they couldn't find anything about it, which makes me think he's discreet in this house. That's what it was really an indicator of, is this house he wanted to be private in. So Rebekah and Martin, let's go back to the manager for a second. They met in the early 2000s. She started working with him in July of 2013. She officially became his manager in 2014. And then some incident happens in 2018 in Dubai, involving Martin and his representative, Jose Vega. And so then she resigns as his manager because of this thing that happens in Dubai. Anyway, after Rebekah leaves, she claims that Martin's career took a nosedive, which was 2018. And Martin's business and finances suffered. His relationship with his advisors fractured. Martin's personal life was in disarray. Martin reached out to Rebekah because she did not respond, so he asked their mutual friends to convince Rebekah to speak to him. Rebekah refused for months, but then she finally gave in and made up with Martin. Rebekah understood that people make mistakes and was willing to try to forgive for their professional relationship's sake. Anyway, she goes on to talk about the relationship, the business relationship she believes existed with him after she comes back to him. I guess they meet. They get over it. They come to some way of working together. So here's the tea on what this allegation in September 2020 was about. Ready? Rebekah not only acted in advance Martin's career, but also rendered services to protect it. In one example among many, in or around September 2020, here we go, Martin received a letter from a highly respected litigation attorney in LA. Rebekah stood next to Martin as they read the legal matter for the first time. In the letter, the attorney threatened to publicly file a legal complaint against Martin if he did not pay money to resolve a claim against him alleged by this attorney's client. After reading the legal letter, Martin collapsed, she claims. He expressed his extreme fear to Rebekah that if this threat were carried out, the consequences to Martin would be, get this word, catastrophic. She says, get this, she was forced to deal with a litany of Martin's personal issues, such as problems with the nanny he hired to care for his children, Martin's non-payment of taxes, and his substance abuse, among other issues. Okay, then she puts in how much money. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, this isn't going to mean a lot to you, but it does to me. She puts in all of the branding deals that Ricky Martin did and got paid for under her management. This is really secret stuff, right? Like when I was a product placement person, you know, you would try to get this information, or if you were representing a celebrity, because it would help you set the bar for your talent you're representing, that you're not under asking for them. So he's dying that this is out in public now and people can access it. Anyway, I'll throw one screenshot up so you could see what he was making on some of his deals. Okay, now it's time to speculate. Okay, I'm going to speculate. I think Ricky Martin probably has a relationship with his husband, which is like, look the other way kind of thing. And then Ricky Martin has relationships maybe with multiple partners in other jurisdictions that he has housing in. Probably Puerto Rico's his favorite because I think that's where he is a resident. And maybe, originally Miami, but that's now his family home with his children. I think Ricky Martin likes to have a good time, which sometimes can skew his judgment and maybe gets him into some trouble. And some of this stuff is related to that, stuff like getting pushed too far. Maybe he gets too serious with someone and there's a breakdown in the relationship, especially when substances are involved. It can, things can get violent or weird or, because people aren't thinking clearly. And it appears that, Ricky Martin has a pattern, I guess, based on this for years of having people intercept problems that he's causing. So, he's been famous since he was like a teenager in Menudo. He's had any woman, man, whatever he's wanted, he's had it. And he's had tons of money. And I guarantee there's maybe 2 people on the planet that ever told him no. You know what I mean? So he is, what do you expect, right? Like most people that go through that explode at some point or another. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I have a feeling Ricky Martin will settle both of these lawsuits before they ever have their hearings. And I don't think the one in Puerto Rico is going to go criminal. I think it's going to be chalked up as, a lover's squirrel. Anyway, who I feel bad about in this whole thing, if it is true, is his husband, because he hasn't gotten into any trouble. And the children, he's even, based on this complaint, had trouble with the nanny. So I think, maybe Ricky Martin needs to take a timeout on the partying and stick to his husband and his children and try to fix things that way and get better advice. And he needs to hear no right now. Someone needs to say, no, Ricky Martin, no. Unless, of course, it's all a lie, like he said, in which case, keep trucking. Pay him off and keep going. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I'm a little rusty today. I'm telling you, that party was something. Wow. Anyway, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. You never know what you're going to get on this channel. Really, truly. I actually uploaded a video I didn't even know I uploaded the other day because I was like, having some fun. Ricky Martin fun.